The Sun Belt Championship is Troy against James Madison. And while everyone expected the Dukes to be here, I don't think anybody picked the Trojans to get to this point. 8-4 for the Troy Trojans, 11-1 for James Madison. Now, James Madison is going to have their head coach, Bob Chesney, move on to UCLA. So that is going to be an interesting element for this game. Does that affect this team, or they continue playing at the high level that they're capable of playing? They're 22.5-point favorites. They have done a lot of damage to the Sun Belt this year, and that could continue in the championship game. They are clearly the better team, but Troy is not going to lie down. They are not going to give in, and it's going to be fun to see how they compete in this one. Now, going into this season, Gerard Parker had a lot of questions to answer. I think that there were a lot of people that were skeptical, including myself, of what this team was going to be, as well as his ability as a head coach. He has exceeded those expectations, quieted those questions, and silenced the doubters surrounding this program. An 8-4 season will do that for you. Quarterback position has been two guys, Tucker Kilcrease and Will Crowder. I think that have been very interesting players to watch. They've had various levels of success, and Kilcrease has been really fun as of late. The offense has been a big reason why they've had their success. Tay Meadows at the running back position has been a big reason why they've had certain success, but also a group of pass catchers that people might have forgotten about. Ra Thomas, you might have known him from his time at the Power 4 level. He has been a solid player, leads the team with 495 yards. He also has the team lead, tied for the team lead with 5 touchdowns. Trey Taylor, 28 catches for 478 yards. He's been another big-time threat. DJ Epps, 40 catches to lead the team, 430 yards, and tied with Thomas with 5 touchdowns. Now, Troy is a team that I don't think a lot of people knew much about, especially when they started the year 1 and 2. There weren't a lot of people that knew that this was going to be a team that competed at a high level. Now, here's the thing. They start the year 1 and 2. They win 5 games in a row. Then they lose to Arkansas State by 13 and Old Dominion by 33. They have not played James Madison this year. So when you look at who they've played, and some of the things that they've done, the 11-point loss to Clemson, you played certain teams close, which gives them confidence going into this game. But how do you get over the edge? How do you win a Sun Belt championship? Because this is a James Madison team that's been competing for a playoff spot, which is still on the table. James Madison could potentially, depending on what the committee thinks of them, get into the college football playoff if Duke wins the ACC. Now, they're also going to have to fight against the Mountain West champion, so there is still plenty of stress on James Madison. Turnovers are going to be a big thing, and it's not that this is a Troy team that's turned the ball over a ton, but they've been opportunistic with their turnovers. They've had guys be disruptive. Donnie Smith, a defensive end, 11.5 tackles for loss, 9 sacks. Jordan Stringer leads the team with 104 tackles, 11 tackles for loss, 2 sacks. So if you're going to beat James Madison, this Troy team has to do it with disruptive plays and creating turnovers. That is going to be the biggest way to ensure you have a shot. You're 22.5-point underdogs. There's a reason why James Madison is the favorite. When you look at how this team has played, this is a collective group that plays well as a whole. Alonzo Barnett has been phenomenal, especially as of late. Over 2,400 yards passing, 20 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. He's also run for 459 yards and a team-leading 13 touchdowns. He is the reason why they've had so much success offensively. He's provided stability. They've finally gone away from that 2-quarterback system that I talked about early in the year. That, to me, was the biggest thing keeping them from having success, or at least reaching their ceiling. The 2-quarterback system just doesn't work if you want to be a serious contender. They went away from that. They used Matthew Sluka in certain situations, but Alonzo Barnett has been clear as day the starter, the go-to guy, QB1. That has helped this team tremendously. Wayne Knight has been an absolute stud. 169 carries, 1,051 yards, 8 touchdowns. He's averaging 6.2 yards per carry, but he's also been a big factor in the passing attack. 35 catches, 368 yards, and 1 touchdown. James Madison has had a number of rushers give him some breaks as well. The depth at running back is something that Troy is going to have their hands full. The passing attack, very similar to that. Their leading receiver is Landon Ellis with 32 catches for 532 yards and 5 touchdowns. Nick DeGennaro has been an absolute stud, an explosive player for them. 386 yards is not anything crazy, but he's averaging 18.3. You don't necessarily, besides Alonzo Barnett, have one guy you can focus on that you can take away. That just doesn't work with this team. That is going to be tough for Troy to overcome. The defense for James Madison as well, extremely disruptive, extremely good at making negative plays for the opposing offense. So if you're Troy, you have to be able to be disciplined, block those guys, and limit the explosive plays. This is going in James Madison's favor. Yes, there is the distraction of Bob Chesney. That might be a factor in this game, depending on where this thing goes. Now, this is an early enough game where they have to win because there's still a chance that they get in. The ACC championship game is the last championship game on Saturday. This game is on Friday. So they still have everything on the table. There won't be a result of the ACC playing before them that might affect this game. Same thing goes for Troy. They have the ability to pull off the upset. They know that James Madison is going to be focused and motivated to win this game. That is going to be a tough test. If Troy does what it does best, which is keep things close, they have a chance. Unfortunately, James Madison is just so good. They have been on an absolute tear. When you look at what they've been doing in the second half of the season, they are just running past people. Outside of Washington State, they've been very good in the second half. Starting with Old Dominion, they put up 63 points. Texas State, 52. Marshall, 35. App State 58, and then the final game this past weekend against Coastal Carolina, they won 59-10. They are on an absolute tear. They are trying to put up a good performance week in, week out so that the committee thinks of them favorably. And then if Duke does win the ACC championship, this is a team that is primed to take that playoff spot. We will see what happens. I have James Madison winning this game, but I'm very interested to see how this game plays out.